time. That'd be great.
I should. I would like that.
It's good for engagement.
It'd be fun. All right, we are live to YouTube now. We're now live to YouTube. This is yes. Okay. Hi everyone, and welcome to Awesome Hardware. This is a live show where we talk about technology and computers and stuff, and we have a good time. And we stream every Tuesday evening at 5:30 p.m. Pacific. And I'm joined by my good friend Kyle, aka Bitwit. He is joining me remotely because we are still staying our asses at home these days to protect everyone. I wanted to say thank you to all of you guys who are joining us live, whether you're watching on YouTube or whether you're watching on twitch.tv/awesomehardware. We love you all. Thanks for all the F's in chat. Those are F's of support and encouragement and all of that good stuff.
Some good F's out there.
There are.
Really good looking
yeah,
F's.
The F's were. I was impressed.
Yep.
We occasionally use adult language, so a warning about that. And we also drink some beer. I was just topping mine off. Oh dear, that was close right there.
And occasionally we'll have whiskey too.
And Kyle, since he's remote, has been enjoying his whiskey, which is
yeah,
it's very classy. I did kind of a rough pour there, but I'm drinking Dale's Pale Ale from Oscar Blues Brewery today. So thank you all for joining. We are talking about some rumored new AMD CPUs just in the past few days, and we've got some Intel record-breaking benchmarks with overclocking with their new stuff. We're gonna check stock GTA 6. Some information that might indicate when it might actually be launching, although it might not be good news, and a device that lets you taste anything you want by touching it to your tongue. What a great day! Thanks for joining us, everyone, and cheers.
Cheers. And for the record, I am drinking Riptide. This is the name of it's actually named after Paul's PC.
That's great.
It's from Cali Distillery, I think. It's my first time trying it. It was a $40 bottle, but it's a 60% rye whiskey. Usually you got to pay a little bit of a premium for the stronger stuff, but this is surprisingly smooth for that ABV. So
I'm honored.
I'm happy with it.
I'm honored.
So is
ripped for the naming in honor. I wonder if I could get a discount on that. Really quick plug for our stores. If you guys do want to help support us, paulshardware.net for mine shirts, mugs, hoodies, pint glasses. I would say bitwit.tech/store, but that link doesn't work anymore, Kyle, by the way. Your fancy store update has broken all of your links and all the videos. So
it's just bitwit.tech now.
Bitwit.tech, you can fix that, though. You can go in and you can redirect your bitwit.tech/store. You should do that.
Yes.
I say, as my link in my header has been broken for a really long time myself. I know. I'm a hypocrite. It's fine. Don't worry about it. Let's
I'll have the designer get on that.
Let's get into the news, the tech news. Starting. Wait, can I do this yet? Sure, I can. Starting with this fun story here from WCCF Tech. We got a couple rumors right off the bat here. These are from WCCF Tech. They're kind of like the swashbuckling pirates of the tech news world, or they're not always reliable. Occasionally they have, with some degree of frequency, they have reported on things that don't turn out to be true. They often report on rumors and stuff. So this is a rumor. This is not confirmed by anyone at AMD, so we just want to lead with that. This all could be false, but it could be true as well, so it's somewhat exciting, and it doesn't seem crazy outside the realm of possibility. So what we're talking about here is some new Ryzen CPUs, specifically a 3900XT, a 3800XT, and a 3600XT. This would be a Matisse refresh, so these would still be 3000 series CPUs. And when this first started being talked about, which was like, I don't know, 2-3 days ago, they were throwing out 3750X and 3850X names, which I believe were just made-up names by the people who maybe started here. You know, if the seeds of this rumor are true, people were speculating on what the names of these new CPUs might be. So they were throwing out, well, if they make a new, a better Ryzen 7 3800, which is the better 8-core 16-thread with just higher clock speeds, if they make a new one of those, they could make it a 3850. Anyway, according to WCCF Tech, it's actually 3900XT. They're using XT, kind of potentially like a crossover with the Radeon stuff, which has XT in the name. Maybe just to confuse people. Who knows? That seems to often be the goal when it comes to naming products in the computer world. But this will involve an optimized 7nm process node. All the CPUs listed, by the way, would be the same core and thread counts as their non-T counterparts. So the 3900X is 12-core 24-thread. The 3900XT would also be 12-core 24-thread. It would just be like higher clock speeds. And this has been done before. I know how they would be doing this because AMD already does heavily bin their chips after they're fabbed to tell which ones can hit higher clock speeds, and that's how they do. That's how they sell their CPUs with rated up to XYZ frequency. They make sure that they have a couple cores that can hit that frequency consistently at a specific voltage, and then they bin those parts out. So the 3950X up till now has been the CPU that gets the best chips, not considering Threadripper stuff, by the way. But those are the chips that hit the highest frequency, and the 3950X on a couple cores will go to like 4.7 or 4.75 gigahertz, which is real nice. And it often will do that as long as you have adequate cooling without even really touching much. You might want to turn on your PBO and stuff. But yeah, all they're gonna do though, all they would have been doing for the past however many months or years since they've decided to do a launch of this type, again assuming this is true, is just they take a few chips that outperform those ones that they're putting in the 3950X, and they set those aside in extra bins. And they do the same with really good performing chips that they've designated to be 6-core and 8-core options as well. And then once they have enough of those, then they put them on CPUs, and then those become a new CPU. They become a new variant of the CPU, and then they usually run at 200 hertz higher frequencies. So here's the chart that WCCF Tech put together, showing your 3600X next to the 3600XT, and you can see all the similarities. Still 7nm, still same core thread count. We're looking at different frequencies. Perhaps a 3600XT, they might put the little chiplets in there that have a couple cores that can go up to 4.7 gigahertz, pretty much across the board. And then here with the 3900XT, we're looking at 100 hertz faster compared to the current rating of the 3950X. When you look at frequency at 4.7 gigahertz, and they're going to 4.8. This seems very possible, very feasible to me. This would also line up with AMD recently taking their 3900X and dropping the price on it, which at first you looked at and was just like, oh, they're just making it even more competitive against the stuff Intel just launched with 10th gen. But that could also be, opening up more of a gap, more room for a 3900XT to come in at $500. This seems reasonable to me. Not confirmed.
I thought I read somewhere that these are going to have the same prices that the current Ryzen chips they're replacing will have, and then that the existing Ryzen chips will lower, those prices will drop.
That would also make sense. If that's mentioned specifically in this story, I might not have picked up on it, but that would also make sense, and that would go along kind of with AMD's. AMD's more price aggressive, across the board. They do more sales. They'll do more of hey, our processor is a little bit cheaper now. Like going to test the 3900X recently, and it's it was $500, and looking, I was like, oh, it's now $400. It's as cheap as $420 just regularly. $430, pretty easy to find. So that's
the timing on this is pretty strategic too, I think, because with Intel just launching their 10th gen series, I mean, I think the benchmarks are there, the reviews are out, people can obviously make their own conclusions and be like, oh well, overall, Ryzen's still better value. But I also feel like just the whole hashtag marketing thing, there are going to be users out there who just buy Intel 10th gen because it's new, because it's much newer, without doing much research, oh well, this one came out a year after Ryzen, so it must be the better chip or whatever. So I feel like and this happens all the time in the industry. I feel like AMD is just following suit with what NVIDIA did, last year with the RTX 20 whatever super cards.
The
Basically,
supers.
The super cards. This is their version of Soup. They should have just called it 3900 Super, which is a nice way to kind of create a stopgap of products between launches when they know that their rival is launching something new within that period, just to stay a bit more competitive. So. Very strategery. Much strategery.
Yeah, I mean, and this could also, remember right now, Computex is supposed to be happening. It is the last week of May, and Computex would be starting next week, or would have been if it were not postponed/canceled. So this could also be stuff that they already had planned, that they were going to be announcing at Computex, but now they're just doing it outside of that because Computex isn't happening. The article says this is expected to be announced on the 16th of June, which is the same day that the B550 boards launch, with official release, sales, possibly review embargoes set for July 7th. July 7th. So, summertime launches. Whenever I consider a summertime CPU launch, I always think like, ooh, it's going to be hotter. ambient temps are going to be a little bit warmer.
The whole tests are going to suck.
I know. I mean, it kind of does. You have to take that into consideration. That's why it's always best to show a delta T rather than just absolute temperatures. Not that I do that.
No, me
but I'm at least aware that it would be better to do that. No, what I do is I try to group all my testing and do it all at once, so it's all at the same temperature. And anyway,
I'm the same way.
Point being, this is my speculation, which is we already know that Zen 3 is a thing and that 4000 series CPUs are a thing. So if you're looking at this and be like, wait, why are they launching this in July when we were already talking about Zen 4 or Zen 3 stuff, 4000 series? It could be, depending on the situation AMD's in and how their sales are going, that they don't need to launch Zen 3 as early as maybe they were originally planning by the end of this year. Or maybe they were always planning for a potential early 2021 launch. We don't know. But I could also see that being the case. They launch these right now. They feel that they have a competitive product stack against Intel, and they're getting good reviews from technical reviewers across the board, and they're gaining more market share. They might be like, hey, we're dealing with a more limited workforce and limited abilities to do stuff because of the whole virus situation. Why don't we take that late 2020 launch and push it back a little bit to the beginning of 2021? I could see that happening too. Obviously, we would be not as happy about that because we want the new stuff sooner. But who knows? It's another potential aspect of this to consider. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, it's like, when you're playing a game of cards or something, you've got like this really good trump card in your hand. You're not going to play it when the other people are doing poorly. When the people you're playing it. You're going to save that till when you really need it, until there's actual competition in the game. Which
would also be totally AMD starting to do behavior that we've seen from Intel for quite some time, when Intel didn't have as much competition. But it's not the same. It's not exactly the same because Intel is still competitive. Intel still sells a lot of systems. They still sell a lot of CPUs. They still have despite the fact that it's been 3 years since Ryzen has come out, and that's really changed the landscape. Intel still has plenty of momentum from before that, from just their brand name and them being known as the CPU maker. Yeah. And then, of course, we already have some leaked benchmarks for these new 3900XT, 3800XT, 3600XT. These are via CPU Monkey, a database consisting of processors with relative performance numbers. Here is the CPU Monkey Cinebench R20 scores from WCCF Tech. Again, this is all probably lies and horrible, and we're just misleading people. But according to this, the single thread score for a 3900XT hitting 4.8 gigahertz is going to best the 10900K and reclaim that, because I don't know about your testing, Kyle, but that was something that the 10900K did, was it outperformed the single core Cinebench test of the 3950X, which isn't on this chart for some stupid reason, but whatever. But there it is, 3900XT, 3800XT, 3600XT. Oh, there's the 3950X. What am I talking about? It's right there. But yeah, there you go. Benchmarks.
Crazy.
I think that's all, right? Alleged. There's multi-core as well for the XT. 3900XT, 7,479, and yeah, pretty good. Anyway. There's those benchmarks of probably lies. Anyway, Kyle, any closing thoughts on this before we move on?
Well, I don't know if I'm excited for this or not. I feel like it's just, you know, the big dogs playing the game, and it's one of those launches that, you know, like if you were thinking about buying a CPU for the first time or something like that, then probably go with like the ones that are clocked faster, unless you're on a budget and want to save some money. But it's definitely not that type of generational launch where, oh, everyone who's on Ryzen 3000 should upgrade to these CPUs. That's what we're waiting for with Ryzen 4000. So, you know, it being a stopgap rehash kind of refresh launch is a little underwhelming, but you know, at the same time, I still am enjoying seeing AMD stick it to Intel. And I'm very curious to see what the retail prices of all these chips will be, as well as the existing Ryzen 3000 chips and what those are going to be lowered to once this comes out. So it'll be interesting.
So yeah, more competitively priced 3600 and 3600Xs. I don't think anyone's going to complain about that.
Could even force Intel prices down, maybe. Who knows?
We'll see. Intel, I think they have made moves, but those moves usually happen with a new launch. They'll reposition with a new launch, and they'll have like higher core count stuff that they come in at lower prices. But once they're launched, Intel really doesn't like to change their prices.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen some sort of press release where it was like, Intel has updated the MSRP or, you know, the suggested prices for these to this much because of, you know, the new landscapes. They just don't, and like weird. I wish they would, but
I know.
Who knows? Anyway, all right, moving on. Speaking of Intel, Intel did launch new processors, despite the fact that they're not necessarily stuff that we're going out and recommending. You know, they're not completely like throw it in the trash bin. There is some very good gaming performance there if you're ignoring stuff like price to performance and you're just looking at those sort of raw bench
yeah.
I'm trying to So point being, these new CPUs are overclocking more betterly, and they are breaking some records. And that might be somewhat interesting to you. So here's a story from Tech Power Up about the ASUS ROG Maximus 7. And sorry, I keep saying Maximus. I keep saying 7. It's 12. The Maximus 12.
I do that sometimes too.
Yeah, this is the Apex board, and they ran a bunch of benchmarks. They had an overclocking event. Usually they have like kind of a big event with people gathered together. I have attended these events that they have adjacent to Computex in the past. Now they're having to do it at ASUS headquarters in Taiwan. Local overclockers John Sandstrom and Peter Plaisier worked alongside internal ASUS experts to overclock, and they got the 10900K to 7.7 gigahertz across all 10 cores. That's pretty cool.
Gnarly.
They used the liquid helium setup. They shattered the Intel Core architecture frequency record. You know what they have to say, not the overall frequency record, because AMD actually has that from back in like the pile driver days or something, which was a meaningless record back then. Anyways, but yeah, this is the fastest overclocking for Intel silicon, so that for Intel Core silicon. Single core Geekbench 4 record, okay. Global first place positions in 10 core categories for Geekbench 3, Cinebench R15, and W Prime 32. 10 core categories.
That's limited.
I will point out.
What's their competition in that space?
Yeah, it kind of makes me wonder if this was at all, if Intel thought of this at all, like, oh, AMD doesn't have a 10 core processor, so this is the best. So the only 10 core processors this is outperforming is 10 core high-end desktop processors that Intel has launched in the past, which it should outperform. So anyway, just pointing that out. G-Skill memory hit a new DDR4 memory overclocking frequency record of 6,666 megahertz. Wonder why they didn't round that up to 6667. Okay, there's a lot of sixes in there anyway.
Wasn't metal enough.
If it's 6666.666666, repeating of course, then they totally should have done that. They could have given themselves an extra megahertz. Maybe they just liked the repeated number 6. Anyway.
They're making a statement.
Yes, if you're looking at this motherboard and you're thinking it looks kind of funny, I don't know if you're familiar with the ROG Apex board. ASUS on their Maximus side. Well, I mean, across all their motherboards for ROG, they have different names like Hero and what else? What are the other ones?
Crosshair?
Oh, Crosshair
Intel?
is AMD boards.
Intel?
Maximus is Intel
Formula.
boards. Yeah,
Right.
so they have Hero, Formula, the
Gene?
like I have. They used to have Gene back when they
Used to
did
have
micro ATX boards, but
Been
they
a
haven't
while.
done that for a while. That would be cool.
Impact. Did you say Impact?
Yeah, Impact is the mini ITX. Anyway, Apex has only been around for a few generations, and it's specifically made for overclocking. So that's why it has all this extra stuff in the top right, overclocking stuff. That's why it's only got 2 memory slots positioned as close to the CPU as possible for the best possible latency. And between that and that helps in overclocking. It's got a pretty cool design overall, although it's just not a practical board for anyone who's just building a system to use, and they're not gonna do crazy overclocking with it. I also think it's funny it's got this notch cut out here by the SATA ports, and I guess they're just like, no one's gonna use these SATA ports on this board. Let's just make them conflict with each other. I'm sure they don't. I'm sure you can work around it, but yeah, this is also one of the boards that has like the little cutouts that make it look
It's a hashtag.
cool, I guess.
Plug in all the SATA cables.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Anyway.
weird.
There's a list of the different overclockers and the categories, then their scores of the different records that they did. Super cool. All right.
I bet JJ had a hand in designing this board.
Oh, I'm sure he had a significant influence. He's everywhere at ASUS.
They should have called it the ASUS ROG JJ.
Mm-hmm.
That would have sold units.
They should make a JJ edition board.
That'd be great.
I'd be interested in that. What would JJ choose?
Right.
It's like, JJ, I want only the things that you want in this board. And I wonder what he would go for. That'd be curious. All right, moving on.
Good idea.
B550 is coming real soon. We got about 3 weeks, I guess. Budget friendly AMD B550. That's what it should. It shouldn't be B550. It should be budget friendly B550. It should always be prefaced with that.
Yes.
I don't know. It's supposed to be inexpensive though. That's the idea. So we have a bunch of boards though. Like there was some embargo lift for the board makers at least, because I've seen a bunch of publication of B550 boards. This is just sort of the difference between the B450 and B550 and X570. And honestly, if you're not looking for like the crazy overbuilt $300 plus X570 offerings that are very expensive, and honestly you don't get a whole lot. I mean, there's random features that might be cool, but you don't get a whole lot more performance wise once you get past, say, the $200 to $300 price, and you're getting high quality power delivery. Everything else beyond that is mostly fluff, to be perfectly honest. But if you don't want that type of board, I feel like X570 just doesn't make much sense anymore. Yeah, I guess you get more general purpose PCIe Gen 4 lanes. So if you want to do more storage that you're not going directly from the CPU with, then that's kind of interesting, or that's kind of useful. But yeah, B550 seems like a very compelling option, and there are now B550 boards that are being shown. Here is an ASUS board that looks kind of cool. I mean, and considering that these are inexpensive boards, and granted, there's probably going to be a range. If they're going to start at $100, they're probably going to still go up to 250-ish, even more than that. Here's an Aorus B550, the Aorus Master. The thing is, in the article it said, this is a TechSpot article by the way, it said they're starting at $100, but I don't know which of these boards costs $100. A lot of the boards are listed on manufacturer websites, and that's what we're looking at here is links to the manufacturer websites. So ASUS has 11 new B550 boards, Gigabyte or Aorus has 6 new boards, MSI has 10, ASRock has 12, BioStar, they just have 1. The B550 GTA, which is apparently, I don't know if Rockstar is going to get mad at them for that or anything. It's racing. BioStar has their racing series.
Rockstar's going to try to ban BioStar from making motherboards.
It's oh wait, no, I'm sorry. BioStar has 2. It's just one is shown here. They have a B550 GTA ATX board and a B550 GTQ micro ATX board. Yeah.
Weird name.
ASRock has
That's probably the only $100 motherboard that we've seen on this site. So.
Maybe, I don't know.
The other ones look like they might run for a little bit more.
ASRock has a B550 Tai Chi. The Tai Chi boards they've been good boards. I feel like the recent Tai Chi boards that I've messed with, I've liked. You need to appreciate the aesthetics. I think to some degree they've gone with sort of a steampunk thing, which I think is unique. You know, it's not a design scheme that many of the other board manufacturers have gone for. So I think that works in making it distinct. It's just not everyone likes the gold accents and stuff. But the Tai Chis usually have really solid power delivery setups. They might not have a bunch of extra bells and whistles, and they probably don't have like the BIOS team that like ASUS has when it comes to building that stuff out. But anyway, I'd be curious to what the B550 Tai Chi is going to cost.
Is this the first time that we've seen a Tai Chi board come to like a budget-oriented chipset? Because I don't think there was a B450.
Definitely there. Yeah, there's not a B450 Tai Chi. So that that is. You're right. They're expanding. They're expanding the lineup, or perhaps they see that B550 it is good enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is worthy. That's cool.
But yeah. Again, you can go to the menu. All of the articles I'm talking about are linked in the video description on YouTube. And if you go there, you can read up a little bit more of the details. Some of these have pretty impressive stuff, like their power delivery setups that you can tell so far. A lot of these are going to need to be tested individually to see which ones are performing the best and keeping their power stages cool. And you know, if the VRM designs that they're talking about are legit. ASRock has 12 motherboards, and they made a video. Oh, geez, that's loud. Turned it down. A lot of the boards have fixed I/O shields. That's a cool thing. I like seeing that become
a trend.
More kind of everywhere. But anyway, there it is. B550 boards. You can start shopping now, but you can't buy them until June 16th. Yet again.
I wonder how many boards each of those partners is making for like Intel's B460.
You're right. That'd be an interesting comparison to see if there's more. I would guess there might be more. I feel like there's a lot more buzz and excitement around this, comparatively. But yeah. Speaking of this, though, and this was just something I wanted to bring up briefly because we didn't do the show last week, and this was last week's news. But AMD, who had come out with B550 news and suddenly announced that 400 series motherboards would not get support for Zen 3, the 4000 series CPUs that will be based on Zen 3. They backpedaled on that, though. There was just a lot of people getting mad about it. There was a lot of people getting like maybe a little too mad about it, and maybe for some people, you know, they're fairly legitimate. There were a lot of people, I think, recently who dove into the platform, and who dove into the platform because they had heard about the idea of an upgrade path and about the idea of like, oh, you know, you can buy this now, and if you wait a couple years and you want to make it better, you're not going to need to buy a whole new system. You can drop stuff in. So I'm very sympathetic to the people who felt like they were getting shafted a little bit, or that like promises had been made. So AMD, to their credit, has decided to support B450 and X470 to support Zen 3 Ryzen 4000 on B450 and X470 whenever that launches, either late this year or early next year, and that's cool. There's probably going to be some confusion now because there's probably going to be branched BIOSes that support some new chips. There's going to be one-way BIOS updates that you can't go back from, where you will no longer have support for like first-gen Ryzen stuff. So there is going to be some complexity. There is going to be some confusion introduced there. So I imagine once these boards launch and once stuff plays out a little bit more, once 4000 series launches, I guess, and once we have a better idea of what's going to work and what's not going to work, then we'll probably, I don't know, but we'll make videos on it, right?
Yes.
Explain things to people.
Too many videos, probably.
Yeah.
It's good. It's smart that AMD's not, you know, according to what they were saying about it, is that they're not actually going to release the updated BIOS for Zen 3 support unless users actually submit proof that they own, you know, a 400 series board and a Ryzen 4000 series CPU, because
Yeah.
If they didn't do that, if they didn't have that wall of protection, there'd be so many people who just didn't get the memo and just upgraded their BIOS and basically bricked their boards without really knowing it because they didn't have a Ryzen 4000 CPU. So
that's
they're taking some precautions.
That's probably a good move. I think that still also is going to introduce some confusion because there's probably going to be, I don't know, we'll have to see the. We'll have to wait and see.
It's definitely, I mean, I'd say, kudos to AMD because that's probably, that is going to be a lot more work for them.
Yeah.
To have to, like, create that whole system.
Yes.
But they're doing it, because they've listened to user response, so that's a good thing, I guess.
Yeah. Well, anyway, moving on. GTA 6, Grand Theft Auto 6, a game I'm looking forward to, so I never need to benchmark GTA 5 ever again.
I don't even see it in the notes.
What?
I don't even see GTA 6 in the notes. Am I blind?
Have you refreshed?
Oh, maybe I didn't refresh.
It should be. I'm looking at it right here.
Oh, yep. I needed to refresh.
All right, there it is. Hit refresh.
All right, so many notes now.
Yeah, this is another WCCF Tech article. This one is derived from fairly legitimate information, though, a 10K SEC filing of Rockstar parent company Take-Two Interactive. So I should read my notes. I'll do better if I do that. To some perspective here. Red Dead Redemption 2 launched in 2018. It's already been 2 years. That game took 8 years to produce. So a game, and Grand Theft Auto is arguably the more, not arguably, it is the more popular of the series that they put out. So they're probably going to spend even more time on that. So if you're wondering if it's a long way off, it seems to be the case, or at least if this is any indication, that it is still a long way off, because this 10K SEC filing of Take-Two Interactive says that they're planning a major increase in advertising in fiscal year 2024. The fiscal year 2024 runs from April 2023 until the end of March 2024. So there you go. The fiscal year for 2024 right here is showing like about a double in the amount of ad spend that they're planning, which is a pretty big difference, and would potentially indicate the release of a really big game that they want to promote the shit out of so that people play it for years and years and years, and they can make money off of their investment of developing said game. That's kind of how it works. This method has worked in the past for predicting stuff like this, as detailed in the article. But of course, what we're talking about is information that's being inferred from an SEC filing. So again, this is nothing that's confirmed or anything like that. If this is true, though, if this indicates when GTA 6 is actually planned to be released, we're talking holiday 2023.
Wow.
Right now, it is May 2020. And I know that might be news to a lot of you guys because you're probably sort of in this stupor because you've just been sitting at home and doing nothing or otherwise been distracted by stuff going on. But it's May 2020 right now. 2023 holiday is more than 3 years from now. Right?
Insane.
That's
Yeah.
a long time. That's too long. That's too long. I can't wait that long.
Nope.
That's like the amount of time it took them to launch the PC version of GTA 5, right? Isn't that about how long it took?
3 years?
No, I think it was like 2 years. It was a long time. It was a really long time.
Jesus.
Yeah, I forget exactly how long, but yeah. So unfortunately, this isn't necessarily the best news if you like things to happen soon rather than later. But what's that? Mods?
So I was going to say, in the meantime, if you just can't wait for a new release, a new version of GTA 6, since it's a ways away, I saw this trailer for a GTA 5 mod that looks absolutely incredible. I showed it to Wifey Sauce, and she was like, "What movie is this?" She thought it was real, like, cinematic footage. It just looks amazing.
I'm showing it right now.
From a 2020 version, a 2020 game. I think it's still in beta, so it's not completely done. I think backers of the Patreon can actually get like a demo of it and try it out, but it looks pretty freaking good.
So they made this movie to sort of introduce it.
The trailer, they made a trailer.
And then eventually,
the also really good.
and then eventually they're gonna show like gameplay, right? Or like they're gonna go. They're gonna go from the stuff that they filmed in real life and actually show the game.
This is the game. Believe it or not, Paul.
No.
Yeah.
That's impossible.
Mind blown. This is not Fast and the
What do you
Furious.
have to do this free cinematic camera mode where you can do these like epic pans, tilts, zooms, and all that and dolly?
I don't know. It's some like secretive modern dark magic.
Like wow.
It's pretty easy, but it just looks fantastic.
That does look pretty incredible.
It's exactly what I need for this quarantine right now. I just need to immerse myself into this for hours upon hours every day.
I would be somewhat curious what the performance impact would be for something like this.
I think they're using ray tracing too. I think there's some path tracing involved and
it's glorious.
Some other crazy shit. So yeah, I'm sure it's gonna take a hefty toll.
All right. Since this is added and it's not in the show doc or the YouTube description, I just pasted the link to this YouTube video, Natural Vision Evolved GTA 5 graphics trailer, which was only posted a few weeks, like 10, 11 days ago. If you guys want to check it out, cool. Well, thanks, Kyle. That was what a great little supplement to that story.
Anytime.
All right, what do we got next? More bad news.
Yeah.
Oh, more sad news. BlizzCon 2020 has been canceled. I don't know. So there's probably some people out there who are very sad about this. There's some people who are like, I don't care about BlizzCon. That's fine. You don't have to care. BlizzCon is one of those events that I've been to, and it's been quite a few years since I went to it. Like when I was playing World of Warcraft and stuff like that. And it was I have many fond memories of BlizzCon. I feel like it's a good event. Yeah. I think it's one of those events where you can kind of tell they keep having it at the Anaheim Convention Center, and Blizzard is located in Irvine, which is it's in the same general region down here in Southern California, and there's a bit of a synergy there I think between them. So like I just feel like I've been to other events at the Anaheim Convention Center where I'm like, this isn't BlizzCon. They didn't set it up the same way, but they do a cool job with lighting and it's been a cool event for me in the past. But anyway, they already, back in April, said that it might not be feasible because of COVID-19. Today, it's been made official, literally today, earlier today on May 26th. They are planning an online event to channel the BlizzCon spirit in absence of actual BlizzCon. Probably won't take place until early next year, though. They are planning replacements for the esports competitions that normally are scheduled to take place at BlizzCon, such as the Hearthstone Global Finals and the Overwatch World Cup, which are also in the works. So there you go. All right, so to end my news segment here on a sweeter note, after those negative stories, look at this Gizmodo story here.
What's up with this?
It's a lickable screen that can recreate almost any taste or flavor without eating the food.
Doesn't look like a screen.
It looks like a battery or something like that.
Yeah, that's battery acid.
I don't know how legit this picture is or whatever. But you know what I like about going to Gizmodo Australia is their stupid video that would play in the middle of the page is region restricted. So I appreciate that.
Oh my god!
All right, let's play their actual video and see what that's all about. So what we're looking at here is something developed by researchers from Meiji University in Japan. It's described as a taste display that can artificially recreate any flavor by triggering the 5 different tastes on a user's tongue. They use this through the use of 5 color-coded gels that trigger the 5 different tastes when they make contact with your tongue. They're made from agar. What is agar? A-G-A-R. I don't even...
Sounds like a Lord of the Rings character.
That's what those tubes are
agar.
there. 5 color-coded gels that trigger... Oh, that was a short video. Should I replay it?
32 seconds.
That's fine. Yeah. Anyway, you guys got the visual. You saw the gel there. That's the important thing. They use glycine to create the taste of sweet, citric acid for acidic, sodium chloride for salty, magnesium chloride for bitter, and glutamic sodium for savory umami. I want me some of that glutamic sodium. It's delicious.
Words I can't pronounce.
when it's pressed against your tongue, you experience all 5 tastes at the same time, but specific flavors are created by mixing those tastes in specific amounts and intensities, like RGB pixels on a screen. Right? Because it's an RGB pixel. You have a red, green, and a blue pixel, and they go to different intensities, and you combine them together to make a color.
Like a 10-bit taster?
It's a 10-bit, yeah. Well, because you have 5 different tastes, so obviously, color depth here is going to be amazing. To accomplish this, the prototype is wrapped in copper foil, so when it's held in the hand and touched to the surface of the tongue, it forms an electrical circuit through your body, facilitating a technique known as electrophoresis. In testing, the Norimaki synthesizer has allowed users to experience the flavor of everything from gummy candy to sushi without having to place a single item of food in their mouths. Isn't this glorious? Doesn't this give you hope for the future, Kyle?
This is like the kind of tech that's kind of cool, but then also like, what kind of practical application does it have?
Well, I've always...
like useless. It's like really high-end useless tech. Oh no, Paul! What were you about? Don't say it. What were you about to say?
You've never wondered what
the taste of
the most dangerous game.
most delicious flower.
No, like right? People. Like I want to know what people. Well, how do they say? How do they? I'm sorry. I don't know why my mind goes there. I'm not a. I don't have cannibalistic tendencies or anything like that, but if you could, because you've always wondered, right? You've wondered?
Yeah, right.
I've
wondered.
You guys have seen Alive?
Right.
Probably not, but it's a good movie, Alive.
No, I've never seen Alive.
It's a good movie. Go watch Alive. But yeah, if you could be like, oh, that's what that tastes like, but you wouldn't have to actually, kill someone and go and chop off part of their butt.
Right. Or eat yourself.
Or eat part of your own yourself. That I hadn't considered that.
This is just gonna create.
Maybe I don't need
a bunch of new fetishes, or it's just going to encourage and develop existing ones.
Sorry, I hit the mic. I don't need this because I can just. Wow, I didn't even. Okay, obviously I have a lot of video ideas for the next week or two.
Do you think human flesh is the taste that you're most curious about?
No, I just thought it was kind of the darkest. I don't know why. I don't know why that's where my mind goes.
Why are you turning this into a Black Mirror episode?
Okay, what are some things you've always wondered what it tastes like but don't know, or I don't know. Or I guess it's all right. So more practically speaking, you can get the flavor of things without actually eating them. So I don't know.
There's gonna be like a celebrity edition of this.
Yeah.
I already know it.
Can you simulate really, really hot sauce somehow with that? Would you need an extra? You need
a sixth gel.
You need an extra gel in there with like ghost pepper oil or something like that. That would be
right.
Carolina interesting.
Reaper gel.
Yeah. Something to consider for the fine folks over at where was this again? Meiji University. All right. Well, I thought that was interesting. Maybe you guys do too. Let us know in the comments what spice is a texture. What? Spider says spice is a texture.
What? Spider?
What?
You're no longer allowed in my Discord.
Spider is one of our awesome mods, by the way. And thanks for being here, Spider. Cell's here too. We love our mods. Just wanted to give him a shout out. And I don't know what that means, Spider. Oh. That's freaking me out right now. I'm trying to even conceive of that.
No. Never heard that.
Oh, well.
I don't agree.
Taste the rain. Taste the rainbow. Okay, we are moving on to my next segment, and I was going to make a lower thirds for this back when I had 2 hours before the show started, and in my mind I had plenty of time to do everything. That's okay, though. This segment is called Taking Stock. I
like it.
Good. We could also call this Lies, Damned Lies, because what I wanted to do is look at some of the exciting CPU launches of the past month that we've made videos on because we wanted to inform you guys of the new products coming out that you might want to buy, but we were lied to and deceived, apparently, because can you actually buy any of these CPUs or things that we've done videos on in the past month or whatever? Like, can you? I don't.
Some of them, yes. Others, no.
All right. So here's the 10900K. Not available. Currently unavailable. Listed at Amazon, but not available. Should be $500. It was on Newegg for $530 right at launch, but sold out immediately. I have no idea how much stock they actually had.
It's in stock right now on Newegg.
It is
for $529.
It's in stock?
It says. It doesn't say out of stock.
You're lying, because I have Newegg right here and it's not even listed.
Here, hold on. Check that link that I just put in.
Hold on.
Maybe I'm seeing. Oh, that's the 9900K. Never mind.
9900K. Well, of course.
Ignore me. I can't read.
Of course. All right. Well,
they don't even have a product page for it.
So the 10900K not available. 10700K
is.
You can buy. All right. So there it is. If you were like, I really want me one of those CPUs you're talking about, 10700K, which no one really has reviewed except Steve. Did Steve review it? I think Hardware Unboxed reviewed the 10700K, yeah. And I think Gamers Nexus might have as well. But
there's only one left in stock.
It's 387.
Oh wait.
Only one left?
Nope, I'm looking at the wrong page again.
This one says in stock.
No wait. I'm looking at the 10700K product page, but okay.
On Amazon?
This one, yeah, on Amazon, but it's probably from no. It says it's from Intel. $830. Here, I just put it in.
Whoa! I just hit refresh on the page.
And it's $800.
And now it's $863.
Yeah.
All right. So see,
there's only one left in stock, guys.
Only
Buy
one left. So always hit refresh and double check.
It's Intel. The seller's Intel. It's not like some third party, like some rando.
And there's one other option where you can buy it for $865 from Super Phoenix.
Jesus.
Awesome. I mean, I don't think anyone actually wants to buy these, so maybe it's a good thing.
Yeah.
The 10600K is the one I think you can actually make a little bit more of an argument for, because if you're talking about a gaming system, so it's not available either. This is the one I was looking everywhere for, because I kept thinking, like, this is the one where I was like, all right, if you really like Intel, if it overclocks, it's got a decent amount of headroom for overclocking. This is what could have been the video I made where I said Intel needs a new 2500K. This could have been it. If they sold this for $200, that's what this would be. Not exactly, but it would be a compelling value at that price. And you could argue about it. You could be like, oh, you could do this or you could do this, and eventually you'd be like, oh, you have to make your decision about things. But yeah, 10600K not available either. I haven't seen it.
It's probably going to be closer to $300 than $200.
Yeah, I know. I know it is. That's why I'm saying it's stupid, and I wish it was less money so I could, it would make a more interesting landscape. The one that is available, pretty much, and has been, it is the #1 new release in processors. Really? There's a bunch of people jumping on the 10400.
That's what I said. I was like, did Intel have to pay for that?
Yeah, the 10400. $182 in stock, available for sale. I bought one. Kyle bought one. Gamers Nexus bought one. A bunch of people bought them.
Maybe that's why it's #1.
I think I'm gonna return mine.
Yeah.
I think I am.
Why is that? Did you do any testing on it already, or?
No, it's still in the box. I can still return it unopened and everything.
Why are you returning it?
Because reviews on it came out very quickly, and the benchmarks that I was considering doing have already been done, so I feel like it'll be less impactful. And I had an idea of like how to kind of make a case for it, but I feel like the only way you can make a case for it is by pairing it with faster memory, and if you're pairing it with faster memory, then you have to spend more on an unlocked motherboard. So I don't know. I'm still gonna wait a little bit, but
it should be worth noting that, like, I tested it initially in my video. I tested it, both it and the Ryzen 3600 at DDR4 3600, which is a little bit high for both platforms, but at least it was standardized or whatever. It was the same on both platforms. And then after I realized Gamers Nexus had done all that work on memory scaling with 10th gen. I decided to retest the 10400 after the fact with DDR4 2933 because that was the max supported speed on a lot of the B460 boards. And I noticed that, yes, performance kind of went down a little bit, but it wasn't quite as drastic as what Steve got.
Okay.
And I think part of it is also because he was using an RTX 2080 Ti for his testing, whereas I used a 2070 Super.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Because I did a poll, and I was like, if you're going to pair a Ryzen 5 3600, which is like sort of the AMD equivalent of the 10400, what GPU would you realistically pair with it? Most people said RTX 2070 Super or 2060 Super. So that's the card I went for. And so I think because there was less of a GPU or less of a CPU bottleneck that my results weren't quite as drastic. Like the performance didn't tank quite as hard with the slower memory as it did with Steve. But I think Steve was also testing with 2666. But I don't think the performance going from 2666 to 2933 is going to be that massive.
Yeah, that'd be less of a jump.
So you might still have a case there depending on what GPU you pair it with, I think, is the point of it.
Okay. Well, what I'm sort of waiting to look a little bit more at is I guess ASRock is the main company that is probably going to have some sneaky overclocking methods, some base clock overclocking with that. So it might be interesting to see how much you can get out of it if you can push it more towards like the 10600K's performance. I'm always so hesitant to dive into that because it's got such limited application usually. Usually you're going to get locked into like a really early BIOS revision, and it's also one of those things that's a lot less like plug and play if you're trying to make the case for like here buy these things and put them together and then build this computer that can do this for gaming for this dollar amount. But then if you have to go and be like, all right, change your BIOS to this, and then you're not going to make sure you don't update, because if you update, it's got this new Intel microcode that disables all this. Because there's a decent chance that Intel might do that. So anyway, but I'd say if I am considering returning it, because my initial video ideas I think have already been done. Also, it's because I have other things that I kind of want to work on, and I have such limited time. Yeah, my air conditioner's on. It's not turning off either until I stop sweating. It's fine. So yeah, for all those reasons, I might return it, but I've got some time still.
Yeah.
Hey, we're having a dance party. Okay, we have 2 more things to look at, and you guys think we're ripping on Intel? What about AMD? Remember your video, Kyle, on the 3100 and the 3300X, or whichever of those chips you did a video on?
Yes.
Have you checked stock for those?
No, I have not.
Lies! We've been lied to yet again. Here is the 3300X listed on Amazon.com.
Bummer.
Available from these not even available from these sellers. That's a lie too. Should I refresh? I can refresh the page. Currently unavailable. Not available at all.
Eesh.
For the 3300X. And the 3100, let me refresh this one too, also has switched from... There were some resellers selling these for just crazy stupid markups, so it's like, why would you buy...
Yeah.
Do they make any sales for that? When they take a 3300X, which is supposed to sell for what, $120?
And they sell it for $200.
And they sell it for $200. Like, is anyone just that stupid when they're shopping for something online where they're like, that's a quad core, $200 for a quad core. I don't know, buy that right now. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know how that works or why it works.
I mean, some idiots are gonna buy it, but not enough for it to actually be profitable, I would think.
Yeah.
Which makes you wonder, why the fuck do they do it then? Why do they sell it for that price?
Yeah, but I mean, it's rampant online. The listing of slightly outdated computer parts for crazy markup prices is everywhere. Yeah, that's why the i7 thing kind of sucks, because like you have Intel Core i7 processors going back how many generations now, and people are like, ooh, I'm selling this computer, it's got a Core i7. And it's like, if it's a 2600K, then that's not quite in line performance-wise with what's currently available on the market. But anyway, Oops, wrong button. Might as well check Newegg as well. This is Newegg's listing. If you go, you can go and sort by LGA 1200. I guess I should hit refresh again. They do have LGA 1200 for the socket type listed now, so you can just look at what LGA 1200 CPUs are there. They also have that 10400, which is in stock. Yay. Hoorah. And they've got the 10700K, but they're selling it for $410. So it's also stupid. For my money, you should definitely buy the $863 10700K over at Amazon. That's what you should go for.
Yes.
Over that one that Newegg is selling.
Make sure to use Paul's affiliate link when you buy that.
Yes. Yes, it helps earn me a small commission when you click it. All right. Well, everyone. That marks the end of the show. We're gonna wrap things up now. So. Thanks to all y'all who have joined us on YouTube. Really appreciate it. If you guys want to click any stuff down in the comment section below, it's appreciated too. Comment in the comment section. Click things in the description. Subscribe to all of our YouTube channels, and have a wonderful day.
Yes.
Yes, that's all I have to say. Okay, thanks again, guys, and we'll see you next time. And we are going to continue the after party on Twitch, so join us there, twitch.tv/awesomehardware. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.